Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Round Table Talk. I'm your host, C Money. First off, I want to say happy late 4th of July because it is the day after 4th of July. So, happy Independence Day to everybody out there. Um, this video was supposed to get done about a day or two ago. This was supposed to be my introductory into another segment of traveling with the Round Table. I am here in one of the most unknown cities in Georgia, which is Warner Robins, Georgia. If you don't know, I did. If you don't know, about a week or two ago, I did a video stating I'm dishing out a new segment called Traveling with the Round Table, which is that whenever I travel, I will be doing videos and be posting it in the um, Traveling with the Round Table segment. And I've already posted a few videos from the past in there. My trip to Atlanta, my trip to Orlando, and stuff like that. I've already posted them in there. But this will be the actual first video that is specifically the first video for traveling with the Round Table. The other videos are videos I did, but I never did, rolled out traveling with the Round Table. Um, One thing I like to say, big ups to Ramada Inn. I love them. They're the best, so far. So they're good. I'm staying at the Ramada Inn in Warner Robins. I'm here visiting a friend who moved up here from South Florida, and I had some time off from work, so I said, okay, let me come out and visit Warner Robins. I haven't had the opportunity to, gasp everything or give you any more knowledge of Warner Robins. I was supposed to do my research. There are a couple of things. The front desk clerk said they do have a national aviation museum. It's not a national, but they have an aviation museum, which I did see when I did Google places to go. I googled a lot of things. There are three things I said I want to do. I want to do something fun, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to visit Rigby's Entertainment Complex and Rigby's water park. I'm also going to be visiting something shopping, which is Galleria Mall, which is a mall. I'm not going to be shopping. I'm just going to go to the mall, which is Galleria Mall, which is, I think, I passed it probably on my way here in my rideshare card. And then something historic, maybe walk a nature trail or something. There is a park that's near me that has a nature trail. I'll probably be walking that, and that's basically it. I'll be here for a couple of days. So I was supposed to be doing this video when I was back home in South Florida to get prepped up for this trip, but I've been doing so much running around and everything, so it got to the point where I couldn't do it. So I just had to end up saying, okay, well, maybe I'll just whatever. But it ended up getting to the point where I said, I'll just keep it on, with that and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But yes, Warner Robins is, and it's funny. There is a bus stop in Warner Robins because I did take the bus up here, and it is operated by Flixbus. If you don't know what Flixbus is, because neither did my rideshare driver, Uber slash Lyft rideshare driver, did. But she was like, what is that? And Flixbus, if you don't know, is affiliated with Greyhound. They are they are an intercity bus service, or I forgot. I think that's how you say it. Intercity connection bus service. I think that's how you say it. Where there's three bus services that I normally take. The main bus service I take is Megabus, and the reason why I take Megabus is because they have fewer stops. I normally take them, when I go to Orlando or when I go to Atlanta. Greyhound, of course, is one of the major bus lines out here, and there's Flixbus, but there are other parent companies. You have Red Coach. I just found out yesterday there's a company called Bolt Bus, and there's other companies as well. But I normally do the three: Megabus, Greyhound, and Flixbus. And the reason why I took Flixbus is because Flixbus has a Warner Robins bus stop. So it made it more convenient for me since I was visiting Warner Robins, because the next available bus stop would be Macon, Georgia, which is which has a Greyhound and a Flixbus stop, because when Flixbus leave from here, Warner Robins, they go to actually Macon, Georgia. They The reason why I do Megabus, because Megabus only have a few stops. If you're coming from Miami to Atlanta, there's only one stop from Miami. Once you board in Miami, they go to the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood station, and then they go straight to Orlando. And then once in Orlando, if you're continuing your flight, I mean not your flight, you're continuing your bus ride to Atlanta. They only have two stops. They have a Daytona Beach stop, and they have a Jacksonville stop. And then from Jacksonville, they go straight to Atlanta with a rest stop in Tifton, meaning that they go to Tifton and they go to a truck stop or a Love Travel truck stop, gas station stop, whatever, and they do a rest stop there, which most bus companies do, because we stopped in Fort Pierce on our way up to Orlando for a rest stop, because the drivers have to, do rest stops and stuff. We didn't do a rest stop coming to Atlanta. I mean, coming up here, because the bus that I was coming from, because I took Greyhound from Miami to Orlando, because Flixbus is affiliated with Greyhound. So I ended up taking the Greyhound bus because this was the bus that I did was the cheapest route. I'm not the cheapest, but the fastest route supposedly, and so I chose it. So I took Greyhound from Miami to Orlando. Then from Orlando, I transferred to Flix, and I had to transfer to Flix because Flix is the only bus that stops in Warner Robins, and my bus stop is maybe 15-20 minutes away from here if you're driving. And Warner Robins doesn't have public transportation, so I'll be lifting, Ubering everywhere throughout this whole trip. So they don't have any public transportation. That's one of the bad things about coming to Georgia. Some cities have public transportation, some don't. When I visited Albany in 2019, they had bus service, but their bus service stopped at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I mentioned that. And then, of course, Atlanta has transported bus service and stuff like that. But this is one of the I was the only person that got off at this stop. When we ended up in Georgia, because when I left, I went to, they had a Fort Lauderdale station, because they have two stuff. They have a Hollywood station, and then they have a Fort Lauderdale station. And I don't think Flixbus do the Hollywood station, but I know they do the Fort Lauderdale station, which is also with Greyhound. And then from Fort Lauderdale, they did the West Palm Beach station, and then we ended up going to Orlando. And then out of Orlando, that was Greyhound. Well, that was with Greyhound. But out of Orlando with Flix, they had two stops, and their trip was ending in Atlanta. And altogether, they had at least about 3 or 4 stops, because after Orlando, they stopped in Gainesville. Then from Gainesville, they stopped in Valdosta, which was the first stop in Georgia. And then from Valdosta was my stop, Warner Robins. And then from Warner Robins, I looked at the whole itinerary. They don't give you the whole itinerary of the bus, but if you go and look into the booking section of trying to book it, they'll give you the whole itinerary. It's Gainesville first, then Valdosta, then Warner Robins, then Macon, and I believe after Macon is Atlanta. So yeah. So basically, I came here to visit a friend of mine, and throughout the next couple of days, I will be doing videos here in Warner Robins. I will be, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be walking around, because I know this is basically like a small city. Small city. I don't know why I said it that. My bad. A small city. And it's probably a lot of woods and not a lot of country. I was surprised, because when I did Google Maps, I noticed that there was a Family Dollar on one side, but literally when you walk out the entrance of the hotel, there's a Burger King across the park. You can literally walk across the parking lot and you're there at the Burger King. But I told the front desk person I did not want to do nothing from Miami. I don't want the Burger King. I don't want the McDonald's. I don't want Checkers, Chili's, whatever. I want what Georgia has to offer. I've seen Huddle House. I've seen Even though we do have one Waffle House in Miami, but I only visited Waffle House when I was in Georgia, and I want to do Waffle House, Cookout. I've tried Cookout when I went to Albany in 2019. I want to do Cheddar's, which they do have a location in South Florida. They have one in Pembroke Pines, what I just found out recently. But I want to do South Florida. I don't want to do stuff that's in South Florida, and even if it is, if I want to try something that's Georgia based or like up the road, because there's a lot of these restaurants up here that and that's what my friend was telling me. There's a lot of restaurants up here that Miami don't have, and then there's a lot of restaurants in Miami that they don't have up here. So I'm like, yeah, I want to try what they have up here that Miami don't have. I want to try different flavor. I don't want to go up the road and have Burger King. I mean, when I visited Orlando for New Year's, the first night I ended up eating Pizza Hut. I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to do Pizza Hut, and but I ended up doing it. So I want to try something different. On my way up here, I did get something from one of the rest stops. I did get Arby's, and I didn't finish it. I just ate the fries. I have a gyro from Arby's that's sitting in my refrigerator right now because I don't have a microwave, and I requested a microwave. They're going to give me a microwave, which is not bad. That's why I say big ups to Ramada, because at least I didn't have a microwave, but they're going to give me a microwave. I'm going to be here for a couple of days, so I need a microwave. I may not eat all my food, and I need something to warm me up. So they're going to give me a microwave later on. I said I'm not worried about it, but it's good. It's good. So throughout throughout the coming days, I may not do another video today because today is my check-in day. So I will be figuring out I haven't did my itinerary on what I want to do and where I want to be at just yet. So I probably will be doing that in the upcoming days. But I'm just gonna be like, okay, hey, this is what I'm doing and everything, so we can get an understanding, understanding of what's going on, so I can know better on on what I want to do. I know I'm going to be visiting Rigby's Entertainment Complex and Water Park. I just don't know what day I'm going to visit it. I was thinking of Galleria Mall. I may do that later on today, in a few hours, and stuff like that. But I don't know just yet. I have 3 days of actually doing stuff, of doing stuff. So I'm going to figure that out and see how that operates. But yeah, we're gonna be I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff around here. So visiting a lot of things, and you might see me with my friend that is here from South Florida. If not, take in some of the things. I may do the nature trail. There is a trail that's not far from here. I may do that. One of the historical places is the Aviation Museum, which I'm not really a fan of, so I really won't do it. We may maybe go by it, but the farthest, Rigby's is the farthest location that's farthest out. It's in Warner Robins, but it's far out. It's far out, so it's gonna take me a little bit drive. The mall is on the same strip as this, cause I'm on Watson Boulevard. From what I see, there's 2 major streets. There's Watson Boulevard and Russell Parkway, but my ride driver did say that there is another main street. I think 90 something street or something she said. But I noticed that my friend and them stayed near Russell Parkway, which is further, I want to say south of me. I don't really know like the directions that I'm in. When I'm in South Florida, I know west, north, south, east, and west. Here, I can't really say west, north, south, east, west, because I could be pointing this way and that could be south, but it's really north. I could be pointing this way, which is, I think is east, but it could be west. So I can't really, pinpoint everything as of right now because, I don't know the setting. Because, when you go into another town and you don't really know too much, you're not like, what's this north or this south or this east? Which is north, which is south, which is east, which, you don't really pay attention to it, Because once you get off the highway and you go into the major streets, you don't be like, where am I going north? Am I going south? And and stuff like that, and the navigation and stuff like that, and I'm not driving, so that's another thing. But I know Rigby's is further. Rigby's I know is if my understanding, it's south of here, and it's a bit of a drive. It's not far of a drive, you know. Um, Everything here is spaced out, so you know basically when you coming into Georgia, and that's one thing I'm telling you. When you come into Georgia, know that everything will be spaced out. It's just like Orlando, but Orlando, certain things are spaced out. Well, you have Fun Spot and Universal and everything on International Drive, but you know, Disney World is not near um, Universal Studios and Fun Spot, and it's not near International Drive. You know, a lot of the attractions and stuff is on International Drive. You know, you got Fun Spot, you got Rigby's Believe It or Not, you have Wonderworks, which is I think the Upside Down Museum that I didn't try when I went there. You have Icon Park, which I did in my previous video. You did get to see Ripley's Believe It or Not. You got to see it in the video, but I actually went inside Ripley's Believe It or Not, so you didn't get to see the inside, but I did do the inside. But I didn't record the inside, you know, because they may say there's no video recording allowed, and you know, inside Ripley Believe. So I just left it like that. And then Icon Park and you know, Fun Spot and Gods and Monsters, a lot of that stuff is. But here, you know, you may, you know, since it's like a small town and it's in the middle of, and I was trying to figure out the location. This is actually, we're actually north of Albany, because we had to go through, because the same, you know, when I visited Albany in 2019, Albany is south of Macon and south of Udella, because when I visited in 2019, I took Megabus to Atlanta, and then I stayed up one night in Atlanta, and then I ended up taking Greyhound to Albany, and two of the stops was Macon, Georgia, and Udella. But I didn't realize, I thought it was Udella then Macon, but Udella is after Macon. So when they stop in Macon, then they end up going to Udella, and then from Udella, they go to Albany. So we're actually north of Albany, which is, you know, and we're literally the my rideshare driver. You're gonna see me say rideshare driver because, you know, that's the logical term, because I'm gonna be taking both Uber and Lyft, you know, because I did put money on my credit. You know, Uber and Lyft have it where you can add money to your account, and I put money on my account, so when I'm here, I can, you know, they can just take money from my account and just taking it from my actual bank account. You know, I just take money from my Lyft and Uber account. You know, I always do that when I go up. I always put $50 in Lyft and $50 in Uber, and you know, the best price I use it, and then I take it. You know, let them take the money from there. Sometimes I go over, sometimes I don't go over, sometimes I have money left over. You know, but and what I was talking about. Yeah, and the my rideshare driver was telling me that Macon is the next city over, and Macon is north of us. I know that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine with me. So I ended up doing that. The bus stop that I was is in Byron, Georgia. It's significantly right off of, I believe, I-75, if I'm not mistaken, because I know I-75 is what the buses take to get into Georgia. I mean, to get into Atlanta, because I know Megabus takes I-75. Because no, because a lot of the buses when they leave Miami, they take 95, and then Greyhound, halfway through the process of going to Orlando, they switch over to the Turnpike, because I think the Turnpike is the bestest way to get to Orlando. So you take the Turnpike to get to Orlando, and then from Orlando, they take I-4. I know I-4 is one of the ways, because I know with Megabus they take I-4 to get out of Orlando and get, I think, back on 95, and then 95 they do, um, you know, Daytona Beach and Jacksonville, and I think from there they take I-75, because I know I-75, I think it's the interstate that you take to get into Atlanta, and I know eventually it meets up with, I think, I-285, I believe, because I took Megabus twice to Atlanta, I took it in 2019, of course, and I took it in 2021 when I went with a few of my coworkers and stuff like that. So it's not bad, but yeah, I believe it was I-75, and I and this is the best part of this, and I was looking, but you know, one of my favorite restaurants. It's not really a restaurant, but like a favorite place is Cinnabon. So I was trying to figure out, there's Cinnabon up here because in Albany, the Cinnabon I believe is in the mall, and I didn't really look for a Cinnabon in Atlanta, and I know Orlando they have a Cinnabon, but it's at Universal City Walk. So I said, okay, let me look up Cinnabon in Warner Robins. I was so gagged that Cinnabon, they have a Cinnabon location at the bus station where I got dropped off at for Flixbus and Warner Robins, and I was like, oh my god, and I told my friend about it, and I said, yo, there's a Cinnabon at my, because I'm a Cinnabon fanatic. Cinnabon is one of my favorites. If you don't know, I don't too much care for Auntie Annie's, but Cinnabon is one of my. And I was like, oh my god. But granted, I know they wasn't going to be open when I got there, cause and stuff like that. But I was like, yo. So they had all of these pre-packed. Now they didn't have. This is the one with the pecans, and this is, I think, with the pecans and the caramel. And I normally get with the pecans and caramel. I wanted to get the 4-pack, but they didn't have the 4-pack, and they had like already because it's, I got to Warner Robins in the morning, and my bus dropped me off in the morning. So I knew that and they had a Cinnabon like station there. It wasn't like, how you go into a certain gas station, they have like a Krispy Kreme little setup and you can get your Krispy Kreme. No, they had an actual Cinnabon there because I seen the oven and everything, but it's just the workers wasn't there because they have the sign outside that says Cinnabon. So they had already pre-packed a lot of the pre-packed stuff there because they had a register and everything for Cinnabon. So I guess when they close, you have to go to the actual truck stop, the gas station's register to purchase your stuff. And I was like, oh my god, and I wanted to get the 4-pack, but I didn't because I got one Cinnabon for me and one Cinnabon for my friend. I wanted to be nice and generous or stuff like that. So it's almost time. It's nice. This is going to be a nice trip. This is a new city that I've never visited. It's one of the cities that I would have never suspect, and I was surprised that Flixbus had an actual bus stop because my rideshare driver was telling me yes, the next stop that they would have to let you off is in Macon, and Macon is probably like 20. Between 15 to 20 miles, depending on your location. Because I know there was a few things that I've seen that's in Macon that's like 17 miles away, and I would say between 15 and 17 miles is Macon. And depending on your bus station, it'll probably be like another hour on the bus, or maybe less than an hour. Because I didn't really look at how long was it from Warner Robins to Macon. I was just so baffled and so shocked that they had a Warner Robins location bus stop for Flixbus. And I was like, yeah, because normally, like with Megabus, I know what Megabus do. They have locations because they change out their locations and their times for their buses all the time, like their scheduling. They change them all the time. So I was looking at it like, I know what Megabus do. They pick the most popular routes. One of their most popular routes in Florida is the Miami to Orlando route, because the Atlanta to Orlando or the Miami to Orlando or the Miami, because at one point Megabus wasn't doing Miami to Atlanta, but they started doing Miami to Atlanta where you have to get off because Orlando is the transfer point for all buses, whether you're taking Megabus, Greyhound, or Flix, because you have to get off in Orlando and then you have to transfer to another bus to continue your route if you're continuing up north, and that's what they always do, and sometimes it'd be my transfer. When I got up here to Orlando, I was supposed to have a 40-minute layover, but soon as we got there, we was 11 minutes behind schedule, and the Flixbus was already boarding people up, and I really wasn't cool with that because what if our bus would have been 30 minutes late and we would have missed our bus, and they would have had, even though I know they probably would have told them we got to wait on the bus from Miami to get here, and but they was already boarding people on the bus, and then by them doing that, they have it where you have assigned seatings, or you don't have assigned seating, they assign a seat for you. So I did it where they assigned a seat for me because I didn't want to pay the additional, because it's like additional $6 to $7. I'm like, why am I paying additional $6 to $7 for a seat? I'm just gonna pay for the seat, and then if you assign me a seat, you assign me a seat. And then somebody was already sitting in my seats or whatever. But it worked out because I ended up sitting in their seats because there was a cost for me. So I said, y'all sit in my seats and I'll just sit over here, and if anybody get on, which I knew nobody else was going to get on, because I'm like, you're going to Gainesville and you're going to Gainesville and you're going to Valdosta. I doubt anybody's really getting on the bus, because normally with Megabus, when they leave Orlando, it's most of the people get on at two stops: the Orlando stop and the Gainesville stop. And I noticed why a lot of people, not the Gainesville, Jacksonville. And I noticed why a lot of people get on Megabus at Jacksonville, because when Megabus leaves Jacksonville, it goes directly to Atlanta. When Greyhound leaves Jacksonville, it has to go to Macon, Georgia, Udella, Georgia, Albany, Georgia, Valdosta. It has to go to these different stops and stuff like that. And I noticed in Gainesville, there's a Rosa Parks bus station. Look it up. It's called the Rosa Parks bus station, and it's in Gainesville. It's where the Flix bus stops at. But Greyhound has their own bus stop in Gainesville, but Flix has a different bus stop, which is at the Rosa Parks bus station. And I looked at some of the pictures, and it's actually cool. So yeah, but with Greyhound, they stop at other stops. You have LaGrange, you have Savannah, you have Macon, Georgia. You have, even though I know LaGrange and Savannah and all those other stops are probably on the other side of Georgia, but on this side you have, Valdosta, Udella, Macon, Albany. You have all these stops. Tifton, I think, is a stop. Well, no, I don't think Tifton's a stop. Well, I was told Tifton is a stop because a friend of mine did tell me that Tifton, they had a bus stop for Tifton for Greyhound, but Megabus don't have a stop in Tifton. Megabus just have it's like a pull in the gas, pull into the truck stop, and they have like a 20-minute rest stop, but it's not an actual bus stop. It's just a stop where people can get off, go to the bathroom and stuff, because from Orlando to Atlanta is 9 hours. So it's like it was only 6 hours, 6 hours and some change from Orlando to Warner Robins. It would have probably been like 9 hours if I was going to Atlanta, because you have more trip, but it was only like 6, because we were supposed to leave Orlando at, I believe, 10:30. No, we get there, I think, we get there at 10. We probably leave at 10:30. 10:30. And then we're supposed to get here at 5:15. So it would have been like 6 hours and 45 minutes, which is not bad. But I see that it's almost coming towards the end of this episode. I just wanted to say welcome to Warner Robins. Welcome to everything, and welcome to all. I'm going to be talking about some of the hotels here, because I did, I like, it's a bad thing that I've seen the hotels. Like, I've looked at some of the comments of the hotels, and I'm like, ooh, but I chose one by the end. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you have any questions or comments, you can email me, rontable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page if you know anything about Warner Robins that you would like to share. If you have anything that you would like to share about Georgia and period, because there are cities that I really don't know about. I just found out about Warner Robins because a friend of mine moved up here with his family. I found out about Kathleen, Georgia, Byron, Georgia. You know, I knew about Perry, Florida, and I mean Perry, Georgia. There is a Perry, Florida, too. I knew about Perry, Georgia, Douglas, and Albany. I knew about all that. So I will see you in uh, the next episode because we will be here in Warner Robins all weekend. So give up for another traveling with the Roundtable. And I'm your host, C Money, and I will see you in a little bit. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I will have a good day, and I will see you in a little bit. Take care.